The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 is in the house and here, but I won't be upgrading this year. Now, that doesn't imply you can avoid making the switch. Let's discuss everything in detail. However, let's have a look inside the box first before we proceed. The unboxing procedure is now rather simple. Because there is no charger included, the packaging is small. We do get the device inside. A pack containing a USB Type-C cable, a SIM card tool, and some documents. And it is now. Now, I wouldn't blame you if you mistakenly believed that this was the Fold 4 from the front and most other angles because it resembles the Fold 4 almost perfectly. If you recall, I was incredibly happy when the Fold 4 was out. For some time, I actually used the phone as my primary smartphone, but for a variety of reasons, I ultimately returned to the S22 Ultra. There are other reasons that I don't think were covered in Fold 5. Now, the Fold 5 is actually very well constructed. We have a sturdy construction with Armor Aluminium and Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and it still has an incredible IPX8 water resistance rating for a foldable device. And I think that some of the only foldable devices that still have this grade are the Flip and the Fold series. The main physical difference between the Fold 5 and the Fold 4 is that the central gap has been replaced with a new flex hinge. Samsung has now chosen the teardrop shape, which is something that several manufacturers have done. Additionally, having a zero gap implies that less dust will enter the gadget when you put it in and take it out of your pocket. Also, it weighs around 10 grams less. I think the icy blue color I have here looks pretty great. A cream and a ghostly black are also present. From Samsung.com, two unique colors are offered. There is a darker blue and a gray. There will be an affiliate link in the description below if you're interested in purchasing those. Additionally, you'll get twice as much storage and a trade-in value of up to $1,000 with that. But that is only valid for a short while. So altogether, it's a good design. And if you hadn't seen many foldables, you may even assume this is the best foldable design available. In my opinion, the cover display is much more useful. In some ways, the Fold the 5th may be simpler to operate with one hand because to its thin display, especially if you're using swipe to type. However, in my personal experience, having such a little display meant that if I wanted to do anything useful, I would have to keep unfolding the device. You can essentially use the Pixel Fold and the Honor Magic V2 as conventional smartphones in your daily life. However, you can fold them open and use the folding display when you do want to enjoy perhaps some gaming, reading information, conducting multitasking, or anything else requires a bigger screen. In addition, the Pixel Fold is really slimmer, even though it weighs more than the Fold 5. Additionally, the Honor Magic V2 is significantly thinner than the Fold 5 and weighs about 16 grams less. Nevertheless, the Honor Magic V2's overall battery capacity is higher at 5,000 mAh than the Fold 5's is at 4,400. This is the same as what we had with the Fold 4, and while its battery life was decent, but not outstanding, I did find myself charging it more frequently than I would have liked. Another issue to consider is that the Fold 4's display may be the cause of the device's poor battery life because it is so small. The larger foldable display must be used, which requires opening the device and using more battery. When looking at a foldable, there are certainly a lot of other things to take into account, such as the various software experiences, durability, and hinge. But in terms of the overall hardware, I believe Samsung has started to lag behind some of the competition. Consider subscribing to the channel if you want me to compare the Fold 5 in depth to other smartphones like the Pixel Fold or Honor Magic V2? Please tell me in the comments section below. Now, I don't want to downplay the Fold 5's displays, since they're still extremely good. The main display and the cover both have 120 Hz lights that are brilliant. And the primary display is now actually 1750 nits bright. Even though the battery size hasn't changed, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor set, which is far more efficient, is now in charge of this device. So, that ought to lengthen battery life. Again, though, you would have been able to fit a sizable battery with the alternative form factor. Moving on to the cameras, they still use the same camera hardware, even though the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 has a new image signal processor that could improve photos. The 4-megapixel under-display camera hasn't altered all that much since the Fold 3 when it was first unveiled. Additionally, the main display is now 1750 nits bright. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 CPU set, which is significantly more efficient, is now in charge of this smartphone even if the battery size hasn't altered. Therefore, that should increase battery life. However, with the alternate form factor, you would have been able to fit a sizable battery. Moving on to the cameras, they continue to utilize the same hardware despite the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2's improved image signal processor's potential to enhance pictures. Consequently, the device's front includes a 10-megapixel camera. Since the Fold 3's debut, the 4-megapixel under-display camera hasn't undergone a lot of change. The case you receive is therefore not as large as what we previously had, despite the fact that it is not contained. With the S Pen, I like it more now. Although the casing is a little bit more usable, the Fold 4 is still not very practical because it is already bulkier than comparable folding gadgets. And the cover display is still inaccessible to the S Pen, only the folding display. As a result, you won't be able to take it out of your pocket and make a short note like you can with, let's say, the S23 Ultra. Again, in my opinion, if the device had been somewhat wider, even if it hadn't been any smaller, that would have provided space to accommodate a S Pen possibly, and you wouldn't have needed to have this separately in a case that is more compact than previously, but is still cumbersome. Now, I don't want to completely invalidate the S Pen on the Fold. It is really distinctive, and not something you have to buy if you don't want to, but this is just my opinion. And because Samsung has been making foldable electronics for so long, they do have some of the greatest software. As a result, GoodNotes is now compatible with the S Pen. New drag and drop features are available. The taskbar has been redesigned, allowing you to see all of the latest open applications as well as the Flex Mode panel, which will provide you easy access to controls and allow you to use the bottom half of the screen as a touchpad. The price is the last justification for me personally not making the transfer. Therefore, the base model of the Fold 5 will cost £100 extra in the UK. The pricing will remain the same in the US, though. I see now why the UK economy hasn't been doing well lately. Crowd groans. There is also inflation, but because this is only a minor update compared to the Fold 4, having to pay more for it isn't the best option. Samsung is currently offering some excellent trade-in prices, up to $1,000, and double storage when you use my affiliate link in the description below. And although those are the reasons why I won't be converting to the Fold 5 myself, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't either. The smaller display could be more appealing to you. You might enjoy the extensive software features and S Pen compatibility, which you won't find on any other foldable. If this is your first foldable, you might be coming from a Fold 2 or Fold 3. I genuinely believe you'll love it. I'm only sharing my own motives with you, which may not be the same as yours. The video for my review of the Samsung Fold 4 from last year is going to be linked here, along with coverage of the Flip 5, the company's other foldable this year, that, in my opinion, has seen a much bigger update. How do you feel about the Fold 5? Will you purchase one? Please leave a remark below. Tell me what you think. Please think about subscribing and clicking the bell symbol if you want to see more videos with the Flip 5 and the Fold 5. I sincerely hope you enjoyed and learned from this video. If you did, please click the like button in my honor. I appreciate you coming. I'm Fei Su from SoulWhispers, and I'll talk to you soon.